It's the moment everybody's been waiting for. The 2023 NBA playoffs are finally here. I simply cannot wait. I mean, this is about to be some of the best playoff action that we have seen in a very long time. I can't remember the last time that an NBA postseason was this wide open. I mean, you look at these matchups, you can make a case for so many of these teams to win and make a run. It's that tough, and I think this is truly an NBA postseason where anything can happen. So I'm going to do my best to go through these matchups and tell you who I think is going to win them all. And I'm going to give you my NBA Finals prediction and NBA Finals champion. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before I do that, please do me a solid favor, guys. Drop a like on the video and please subscribe to the channel for more NBA content. I will be providing a lot of NBA postseason coverage on this channel, reacting to some of the games that go down, and I have a feeling we're about to see some epic games go down. Okay, let's start in the Western Conference, and we're first going to begin with the 1 versus 8 matchup. So at the time of me recording this, we don't know who is going to take on the Nuggets, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Nuggets are going to get through in 6 for the sake of the video. I'll say it's the T-Wolves. But yeah, the Nuggets, they're not going to get upset in the first round. The Denver Nuggets are going to make it on to the second round. Okay, next matchup. Suns Clippers. Man, this could be a Western Conference Finals. Like, this is so crazy of a matchup. And I'll be honest with all of you. I've spent countless hours going back and forth. Because although a lot of people are riding with the Suns, I can make a case for the Clippers. Playoff Kawhi Leonard is different. I'm a huge Kawhi Leonard fan. I'm going to be rooting for him. But I'm also trying hard to just see this matchup for what it is. And when it comes down to it, I think the Clippers not having Paul George is going to be very, very big for them. I mean, if the Clippers had Paul George, I'm taking the Clippers in this matchup. But this is going to come down to, I think, the Suns just having way too much firepower. And you look at Phoenix. I know a lot of people are talking about their depth, but Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, those guys are going to be tough to stop, man. And the Clippers, I think, will make this a series. I see a lot of people saying the Suns are going to win this in 4 or 5. I beg to differ. I think this is going to be the best first round playoff series. I would not be surprised if the Clippers pull it off just because of how good Kawhi Leonard has been playing and what he's capable of doing. I'm a Raptors fan. I saw firsthand what this man is capable of doing in the playoffs, and Clippers fans saw it in 2021 before he got injured. But man, this is just such a rough first round opponent for the Clippers. If they took on any other team in the West, I think it's a foregone conclusion they get through, but the Suns are just going to be too much to handle, and I'm ultimately gonna have to give the edge to the Suns. So I'm gonna say Suns in 7. I do think this is gonna go the distance. I would not be surprised if the Clippers steal one early. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be the best playoff matchup. And like I said, I spent a lot of time going into this matchup, just speculating what could happen. But yes, I will go with the Suns for the sake of this video. Suns in 7. Okay, next matchup. This is another one where, I mean, actually not real. I was going to say a lot of people are going back and forth on with, but that's not the case. I feel like everybody's taking the Warriors, and I am too. Listen, Sacramento Kings, they're a great story. I'm so glad they're in the postseason, but I just think their inexperience in the playoffs is going to be too much for them to overcome. You look at the Warriors, they're going to be at full strength. Wiggins is back. Gary Payton II is back. You got that big 3 healthy, which, by the way, I'm about to utter this stat, which is just insane. Steve Kerr has never lost to a Western Conference opponent as a coach in the playoffs. And the Golden State Warriors have never lost a playoff series in which Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Stephen Curry have played in every game from the start. Like, that is unprecedented to go against. I think it's going to be a good series, but I'm going to go Dubs in 6. I don't think the Warriors' road woes are going to hinder them here, just because we're probably going to see a lot of Warriors fans in Sacramento. So yeah, I'm going Dubs in 6. It's a no-brainer for me. Okay, and then the final matchup of the first round in the West, Lakers-Grizzlies. And this is another matchup where it seems like a lot of people are picking the Lakers. Like, people are just easily dismissing the Grizzlies, and then you forget, like, this is a 2-7 matchup. The Grizzlies are the 2 seed. The Lakers are the 7 seed. The Lakers have been playing really good. They obviously saved their season. Rob Pelinka deserves a lot of credit. But at the same time, the Lakers barely got by the T-Wolves, who were shorthanded and had to have an epic comeback to win that game. The Grizzlies are a different animal. No pun intended. I mean, the Grizzlies, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on here. A lot of people are writing them off. And look, I do not like this Memphis Grizzlies team. A lot of people don't like this Grizzlies team. They do a lot of things off court that just makes it hard for you to root for them. But this Grizzlies team is going to be tough to beat in a 7-game series. I think the Lakers make it interesting just because they got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And quite frankly, you can make a case they're going to have the 2 best players in the series. But I just think the Grizzlies' depth will be too much to overcome here. And the Grizzlies, they want this matchup. Dylan Brooks, he talks a lot of trash, but he said he wants this. And I know a lot of people are saying be careful what you wish for. I think this is an excellent opportunity for the Grizzlies to prove themselves and take down LeBron James in the first round. This kind of reminds me of that Suns-Lakers series from a few seasons ago, where everybody was picking the Lakers to upset the Suns. People were saying, oh, the Suns, they're going to choke, blah, blah, blah. And what happened? The Suns beat them. So I think something similar is going to happen here. I got the Grizzlies winning the series. I'm going to say it goes to 7, but the Grizzlies are going to prevail on home court. I think home court advantage is going to be huge in this one. Okay, now we go back to the top of the bracket. Nuggets, Suns. This is where the Nuggets disrespect is going to come in even further. I don't know a lot of people who are taking the Nuggets past the second round, to be honest. I'm not going to be one of them. I got the Suns going on to the Western Conference Finals. I said the winner of Clippers-Suns is going to the Western Conference Finals. And yeah, I don't see the Nuggets beating the Suns. I mean, the Suns just have too many weapons. The Nuggets, they faltered at the end of the season, and there's a reason why a lot of people don't believe in this team. They did not play well down the stretch. I think Jamal Murray's got to absolutely go off to salvage any hope of a Nuggets postseason run. But the Nets are undefeated so far for a reason. I know they haven't played anybody yet, but this team is just as advertised with Kevin Durant. You know Kevin Durant's going to be pissed off to prove himself. He's got a lot to prove in this postseason, in my opinion. So you got a Suns team that you got KD who's going to be at his peak. Chris Paul wants to get back to a final and finally win a chip. Devin Booker's been playing great so far. And the Suns, I know a lot of people talk about their lack of depth, but they got guys who can step up. Terrence Ross, Shamit. I mean, just take the last game of the regular season. The Suns reserves almost beat the Clippers, who were playing Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, and everybody else. So I don't think the Suns' depth is going to be an issue for them. So yeah, I got the Suns going to the Western Conference Finals. Okay, now I'm going to have Warriors, Grizzlies. This is an easy one for me. I got the Warriors going back to the Western Conference Finals, guys. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be a great one. But the Warriors just have the Grizzlies number, and I think that's going to prevail here. I mean, for as much trash as the Grizzlies like to talk, and for as well as they match up with some of the teams in the West, I just think their match is the Warriors. That is just something that's going to end up being their proverbial hill, something they cannot overcome, and this year's going to be another example of that. So I got the Warriors moving on through, and that's going to set us up with a blockbuster, amazing, movie-like Western Conference Finals. Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. KD going against his old team with a chance to get his new team to the NBA Finals. This is going to be fireworks. This is going 7 regardless. But I'm going with the Golden State Warriors, and this might surprise a lot of people, but just like I said at the beginning of this video, as long as the Warriors have no setbacks during this postseason, they're healthy. I don't care about their road woes. The postseason is a different animal. I'm going with the team that has proven it time and time again. And until this Golden State Warriors team at full strength is knocked off, I cannot pick against them in the Western Conference. And this is a team that I think Stephen Curry's going to have a big postseason. Klay Thompson is going to have something to prove. He always plays with a chip on his shoulder. Andrew Wiggins being back. I know he hasn't played in a while. He's missed a ton of games, but give him some time. At this point, he's going to be a huge difference maker in a series like this, especially with his defense. And the Warriors' other guys, will make it happen. And a lot of people forget, I mean, the Warriors basically have the same team that they had a year ago when that team won the championship. So I think their continuity is really going to show here. And I think Kevin Durant and company are going to fall short in a 7-game series to the Warriors. And you know Twitter's going to go crazy if KD loses to Curry and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. It would be almost poetic at that point. So yeah, I got the Warriors going back to the NBA Finals, guys. I picked them to make the finals last year when I did my postseason predictions. I'm doing it for this postseason prediction piece. I am not worried about the Warriors' road record. I think the Warriors actually have a pretty good path to the Western Conference Finals, and then they will make it to the NBA Finals. Okay, let's get on over to the Eastern Conference playoff picture. And to me, the first round is a little easier to predict, which is usually the case with the Eastern Conference playoff matchups, just because of how top-heavy this conference is. 1 versus 8 matchup does not matter whether it's the Heat or the Bulls. For the sake of the video, I'll say it's the Bulls. The Bucks are going to get on through in 5 or 6. Next matchup, this is going to be it is going to be the best first round playoff matchup in the East. And it's going to be Cavaliers-Knicks. This could, I think, go either way. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Knicks. I'm going to go Cavs in 7, but I think this is going to go the distance. I would not be surprised if the Knicks squeak one out here just because of how good the Knicks have been this season. And I think Brunson is going to be that it factor, that go-to guy that the Knicks can turn to, similar to how the Cavs now have their go-to guy in Donovan Mitchell. But I think that Game 7 is going to be an absolute duel. It's going to be in Cleveland, and I think the Cavs will prevail and get on through. So I like the Cavaliers getting by the Knicks in 7. And you know that's going to drive Stephen A. Smith nuts and send him into a frenzy. Okay, the 3-6 matchup. I'm actually going to say the Nets steal a game here, but I'm going with the 76ers. I think the 76ers, I could see a gentleman sweep, honestly. I could see a situation like that. Sixers, they start off slow in this series, but then they just wake up and get back to reality. But yeah, I got the Sixers getting on through. The Brooklyn Nets are just going to be happy to be here with KD and Kyrie. They're obviously going to have some great postseason experience with that new group over there, so that's going to benefit them long term. But yeah, the Sixers, they're not going to play any games here. It's title or bust for this Sixers team in the playoffs, so they're going to definitely get by the first round. Okay, and then finally here, we got Celtics taking on the Hawks. This is going to be another quick series in my opinion. I could see Trey, DeJounte stealing a game, but then that's it. I got the Celtics moving on in 5. I think the Celtics, they just turn it up a notch in the postseason. And I think we're going to see that here. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting in the East. It's always the second round where you get very invested in the Eastern Conference. We're going to have Bucks-Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers, I think, are being slept on. This is a team that it would not surprise me if they do get to an Eastern Conference Finals. But it's one of those things, I got to see it to believe it. I do think they make this a series. I think it goes 7, but the Bucks prevail at home. I think Milwaukee's got too many pieces. They got too much depth. They got Giannis. Middleton's going to be the wild card, of course. Jrue Holiday's been playing like an all-star. Yeah, I mean, even 7 would be a stretch. 6 or 7, but the Bucks take this one. I think the Cavs, for as good as they've been, they got Donovan Mitchell. I think the depth of Milwaukee will be on full display here. You're talking about the deepest team in the NBA, bar none. So the Bucks are going to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals. And remember, they are going to have home court throughout. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to go over well for the Bucks in this spot. Okay, next, Celtics-Sixers. And I just think this is a bad spot for the 76ers. If you guys want my honest opinion, if the 76ers were on the other side of the bracket and it was 76ers-Bucks, I'm taking the 76ers to win that series. But I just think the 76ers being in the spot against the Celtics, who have been their Achilles heel, I mean, even the last matchup, it took Embiid scoring 52 points to barely squeak by the Celtics. I think the Celtics were missing Brown in that one. They were missing some key pieces. The Celtics just own the Sixers, and it's just going to come down to it being a bad matchup, and I got Boston getting by here in 6 or 7. I mean, the 76ers, they're going to have the MVP, in my opinion, in Joel Embiid, but the Celtics are too deep, man. And they, like I said, they turn it up in the postseason. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, these guys are going to be motivated to get back to the NBA Finals. And then you look at their depth pieces, the guys who are coming from off the bench. You got Marcus Smart. The Celtics are a handful, and I think it's going to be too much for the Sixers to overcome. So, and I guess, yeah, one last point I'll make is I don't trust Doc Rivers. I really don't. I think he really will he has set the Sixers back, and I think this will be his last chance to prove himself. And if he doesn't get it done, I think Doc's gone. So I just can't put faith in Doc Rivers in this spot. I got the Celtics moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. And now we got the Eastern Conference Finals that I think everybody, for the most part, has in their bracket. A lot of people. Bucks Celtics in a 7-game series. This is going to be an amazing matchup. I feel like everybody has been picking the Milwaukee Bucks. But you look at this matchup, the Celtics B team almost beat the Bucks when they met each other. I think it was, February? And then in their most recent matchup, the Celtics absolutely dog-walked the Milwaukee Bucks. They beat them by 41 points. Yes, Milwaukee was on the second night of a back-to-back, but they had everybody in that game, and Milwaukee was at home, and the Celtics just took it to them. So I have no idea how everybody is overlooking the Celtics. Look, I get it. The Celtics did not end the season off well. They had a lot of questionable losses down the stretch. But the Celtics bring their A game every time they play against a good team. And they're going to be ready for this matchup. They're going to want to prove to people that it's them that are the team to beat still in the East, not the Milwaukee Bucks. And I got the Celtics winning the series, guys. I got the Celtics winning this in 6. The Celtics, people forget about their depth. You know, people are talking about how the Bucks are locked and loaded. The Celtics are locked and loaded. And this team's going to have the motivation factor because they lost in the finals last season. Everybody's been talking about the Bucks. The Bucks are the number 1 seed. And we saw literally on March 30th what the Celtics can do when they have that motivation factor, when everybody's picking against them, and when they got to show up in a big game. So the Celtics are going to be ready to go here. And I think their defense is going to turn it up a notch. And I think they're going to do an excellent job on Giannis. And the Celtics know how to try to neutralize Giannis and make everybody else beat him. So I think the Celtics get back to the NBA Finals. So yes, I got a rematch of last season. I think these two teams will meet again. You got the Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics. These two teams both turn it up a notch when it matters. And this could go either way. It really can. I would not be surprised if the Warriors repeat. But I think the Celtics get it done this season, guys. I'm going Celtics in 7. I think the Celtics are going to be pissed off. They're going to be ready for this one. And they're going to avenge their loss in the finals last season against the Warriors in this spot. And you can make a case. I mean, the Celtics, if Jason Tatum shows up in that series last year, they win that series. And, you know, JT's got to step it up. JB's going to be ready for this one. I know there's a lot of talk about his future, but I don't think that's going to be a distraction like people are saying. And I just think the Celtics, having 1 year under them, going through that experience of losing in the finals, that is going to mentally prepare them for the spot. And they're not going to be playing around here. They're going to come out for the jugular, and they're going to beat the Warriors. So I got the Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship. I think from top to bottom, this is the best team when they're engaged, when they're motivated. And yeah, the Boston Celtics will be your 2023 NBA champion. So we'll see how this ages. Let me know your picks in the comment section down below. Drop a like on this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. Plus, ring the bell for more. Who do you got meeting in the NBA Finals? Who is your 2023 NBA champion? Let me know. And I am super excited for the postseason. Again, keep it locked and loaded on this channel for all of your postseason coverage. That is it for me. This is Luka signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next video.